If you're trying to grow your business, find clients, or build professional relationships on LinkedIn, and you're doing it manually, I want to show you something a solo founder shared on Reddit. He was spending roughly 15 hours every week sending LinkedIn messages, connection requests, follow-ups, personalization, all by hand, and after 3 months, he reported generating just 2 to 3 leads. Not clients, leads. And honestly, that story isn't unusual if you've ever spent an entire afternoon just clicking through profiles, copying names, typing out the same message with small tweaks. You know what I'm talking about here. It feels productive in the moment, but when you zoom out, the math just doesn't work. In this video, I'll walk you through a structured approach to LinkedIn outreach designed to run more consistently, reduce manual workload, and help you focus on higher value conversions. Let's get into it. This video is for education and informational purposes only. It's not business or finance advice. And in this video, I've teamed up with a linked helper which I'll use strictly for demonstration purposes. As with any automation tool or workflow, always ensure your usage complies with LinkedIn terms, policies, and the best practices. Before we get into this system itself, let's talk about 5 common mistakes that tend to reduce outreach effectiveness or increase the likelihood of account issues. And I want to be clear here, these aren't hypotheticals. These are patterns I've seen come up again and again in communities where people actually do this work. Mistake 1, no daily limits or randomizations. Some users report problems when their LinkedIn activity appears overly aggressive or highly repetitive. Think about it from LinkedIn's perspective. If your account suddenly goes from viewing 5 profiles a day to sending 80 connection requests in one afternoon, that looks unusual, and platforms pay attention to unusual behavior. Patterns often mentioned include very high connection volumes, large backlogs pending invite, sending requests at identical times daily. A more conservative approach typically involves moderate daily limits, variability in timing, blended platform activity, profile views, engagement, and etc. The objective is not evade detection here, but to maintain reasonable and natural usage pattern. You want your account activity to look like someone who genuinely uses LinkedIn throughout the day, because ideally that's what you are. Mistake 2, no follow-up structure. Many people send connection requests and stop after 1 message. And I get it, it's tiring, it's frustrating, it's embarrassing. Following up feels awkward sometimes, as if you're begging it with that person, right? You don't want to be pushy, but the reality is that most meaningful business conversations don't happen on the first touch. Some of our greatest partnerships didn't happen from one conversation. One conversation started, then I followed up a lot of the times, and eventually we closed on some sort of agreement. And I'm sure a lot of successful people can relate to that story. The story that things typically happen on the 2nd, the 3rd, and sometimes even the 4th go. If you're relying on memory to follow up, I think I messaged that person last Tuesday, and once they fall through the cracks, they are gone and you've potentially lost the client. Outreach effectiveness often improves when interactions follow a structured sequence rather than relying on memory. Simple example, connection request with context, follow up after acceptance, final soft close or exit. You don't need a complicated 12-step funnel. Even a simple 3-touch sequence, connect, follow up, close or exit, will outperform winging it every single time. Consistency beats improvisation, you have to remember that. Mistake number 3 is identical messaging. Sending the exact same message to everyone usually lowers response rates, and the reason is simple. People can tell when someone reads a message that clearly wasn't written for them. They disengage completely. It doesn't matter how good your offer is if the first impression feels mass-produced. The fix isn't writing a unique novel to every person, because that's quite time consuming when you really think about it. It's about smart segmentation. More effective approaches involve audience segmentation, different messages for different peoples or industries, message variants, 2 or 3 versions of the same core message, personalization variables, company name, role, something specific. A CEO at a SaaS company should get a different opening than a recruiter at a staffing firm. Same tool, same system, different words. Relevance drives engagement. Don't ever forget that. The next mistake is tool types. Now this one is a bit more technical, but it matters a lot, especially if you're thinking about using any kind of automation tool. LinkedIn automation tools vary significantly in how they function, and the architecture you choose directly affects your account safety. There are 3 main types, and I'm going to break them down right now. The first one is browser extension. attention, and how this works is that it injects code into LinkedIn tabs. Risk level, medium detectable via dumb changes. The second one is CloudBot, and this is how it works. Runs from remote server IP, high, flagged as non-human traffic. The third architecture is desktop app. Linked helper, for instance, runs locally, mimics human behavior. That's how that works. So based on that, the risk level is lower, your IP, your browser, human-like delays. The table on my screen now explains everything, as you can see, obviously, and it's very clear to see how obviously having a desktop app is probably the more advisable option to go with because of the risk level. Anyways, let me break this down further. Browser extension sits on top of your LinkedIn tab. It injects code into the page, and LinkedIn can detect that something foreign is running inside the interface. A CloudBot runs from a server somewhere, not your computer, so LinkedIn sees login activity from an IP address that doesn't match your normal behavior. That raises red flags straight away. A desktop application, however, like Linked Helper, runs from your own machine, your own IP, mimicking the way a human would actually browse. It's the approach that mostly closely resembles just using LinkedIn normally. A user on RSAS who lost his account shared this: I was using a Chrome extension, turns out it injects JavaScript into the LinkedIn page, so LinkedIn sees that something foreign is running. After switching to a desktop browser tool, he ran outreach for 2 months with zero restriction. Of course, no architecture guarantees safety. Responsible configuration always matter, but the type of tool you choose is the foundation everything is built on. Last one, and this might be the most underrated. Most people who do outreach manually have no idea what the actual numbers are. They have a vague sense. I think people are responding okay, but they can't tell you the acceptance rate or which message variant is performing better without centralized tracking. It's difficult to measure acceptance rates, reply rates, message effectiveness, funnel bottlenecks, and if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. You're just guessing over and over again. Systems require feedback loops. When you have data, you stop making the same mistakes. Without it, you keep repeating them and wondering why nothing changes. Now that we've covered the common pitfalls, let's look how a structured system can address them. And what I'm about to walk you through is not theory. This is the practical step-by-step build. Now, I'm going to show you how to set this up from scratch. By the time I'm done, you'll have a live campaign running and it takes less than 15 minutes. Step 1, create campaign. Set up campaign inside Linked Helper by audience segment, not for safety but for relevance. Different audiences need different messaging, so treat each campaign like a conversation with a specific person. Step 2, define audience. Start narrow. Targeting a smaller group gives clearer data and faster learning. Use sources like Sales Navigator, LinkedIn search, groups, or uploaded lists. Begin with 50 to 100 people, test, refine, and then scale. Step 3, build outreach sequence. Map your conversation flow. Connection requests with context. Follow up after acceptance. Don't pitch immediately. Polite exit if no response. Step 4, configure activity moderation. This ties directly back to mistake 1, activity patterns. Example, conversation configuration. There's no universal safe number. It depends on your account and activity history. Start conservative, then scale. Once everything runs smoothly, you can increase volume, but you can't undo restriction. Behavior matters more than numbers. Step 5, add supporting actions. Don't just send requests that looks unnatural. Mix in normal activity like profile views, post likes, and occasional endorsements. Use Linked Helper to sequence this. For example, view profile, engage, connect, so your activity mirrors real user behavior. Step 6, launch your campaign but don't ignore it. Check daily in the first week acceptance rates, replies, any issues, then move to weekly once it's stable. Step 7, optimize via data. Use metrics to improve. Low acceptance, targeting, or connection message issue. Low replies, weak follow-up, low meetings, unclear value proposition. The data shows you exactly what to fix, turning outreach from guesswork into a system. And that's it, under 15 minutes and you've got a fully automated outreach pipeline. Now let's talk about expectation, because I think it's important to be honest here. Results vary significantly depending on industry, audience, and messaging quality. There's no guaranteed outcome with LinkedIn outreach. Anyone who tells you use this tool and you'll get X meetings per month is not being straightforward with you. What I can tell you though is that the variables that matter most are the following ones popping up on my screen right now. They are the following: acceptance rate, reply rate, meeting conversions. Strong targeting drives acceptance, relevant messaging drives replies, a clear offer drives meeting, LinkedIn outreach is a numbers game, but quality inputs equals better results. This system helps you improve over time. Don't quit after a few days. Run it for 2 to 3 weeks. Gather data, then optimize. Now let me be transparent about cost, because I think pricing is one of those things that should never be hidden behind book a demo button. I hate that personally. All the options popping up on my screen right now are the various pricing points you gotta look into. And it's clear that LinkedIn Helper, both the standard version and the pro version, is actually the cheapest option. And they all deliver somewhat similar results. I would even argue that Linked Helper might be better at delivering the relevant results. It's clear to see that most tools in this space cost more than $100 per month. Linked Helper starts at $8.25 and it runs on your own machine, which helps keep your account safer. You also don't need Sales Navigator to begin. Regular LinkedIn search is enough for your first campaign. So your minimum setup is literally $8.25 a month. No hidden costs, no locked features. If you're currently spending hundreds on tools to do the same thing, it's worth taking a step back and reassessing. As we get ready to round up, here's a quick start checklist. If you want to try this, here's what your first week should look like. First and foremost, define your audience. Be specific about who you're targeting. Write 2 to 3 message variants. Don't rely on just one template. Build a simple sequence. Connect, follow up, then close or exit. Start with conservative activity limits. Increase over time. Track performance. Review weekly and adjust. You don't need to do everything at once. Even getting the first 3 done puts you ahead of most people. As we get close to the end of this video, if you want to explore Linked Helper, check the top link in my description. Start with a free trial, but the real takeaway is this: systems outperform effort. You can work harder than everyone else and still lose to someone with a better process and a system, because systems are consistent, measurable, and improve over time. Define your audience, follow a structure, track your numbers. That's where the real advantage comes from. If you found this helpful, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and more importantly, tap the notification bell. I am out now, and I'll see you on the next video, where we are of course going to be talking about more business, finance, and entrepreneurship like we always do.